Everyone, and welcome back to a new video. I'm still in the old studio, as you can see. Summer has finally fully arrived, and this is the second part of the Can We Build a Steam Game Using AI Tools video series. If you haven't watched the last one, I will link it somewhere up in the corner for you. In the last video, we basically planned out what we want to build, and we basically did a one-shot prompt to get started, and we have been successful in having a working prototype. There was not much going on. I'm going to show it to you in just a second. But we got a working prototype in the first video in about 30 minutes overall, with all the planning involved and stuff like this. We also went ahead and created some agents already. So we basically did a little bit of pre-work or pre-set up stuff to get the project off the ground. And in today's video, we try to just keep developing and adding new features and stuff. And we try to basically build a working and satisfying basic game loop. So this is what this video is going to be about. We really want to get the basics down. We want to get a basic game that we can actually play and maybe even enjoy. And then we will just slowly work from there. If you don't know, or if you don't want to watch the last video, for this we are going to use Claude Code. We are also going to use Claude, the desktop app, basically to plan things out and stuff like this, and to brainstorm a bit with Claude on next features and to get some ideas and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I think that's all you need to know. I'm on the Claude Pro $20 plan, so nothing fancy. And we'll just see how far we get today. All right, let's dive in. All right, so let's open up a VS Code as our first task. And as you can see, I played around a little bit with the player config to change the health and this kind of stuff. Because in our initial plan, we told Claude to come up with a good README and basically a project plan. And we also told it to come up with a Claude MD file, which should be somewhere here. There it is. And in this file, we basically defined the project outline and what we want the game to look like. And we also told Claude to generate a very easily maintainable and extendable or scalable folder structure for further development. And also that we want to be able to configure everything using variables. So we want to be able to just go to the player config and give the player more health or movement speed. And yeah, you get the idea, I think. But for now, let's run the dev server and have a look how the game actually looks like at this moment. So it's very basic. We have a square that's automatically shooting on other squares. If we touch a square, we lose some health, as you can see in the upper left corner. Obviously, we don't have any sound effects. It's a very basic game loops. We have a kill counter. You can see that the enemies are basically stacking on each other, so it's not really working as intended, that they are like clustering and colliding with each other. We still have to set that up. But basically, if we survive for a full minute, then we have won the game. And let's just demonstrate that we don't need to wait. The collision with the player is also not perfect because we can walk through several monsters and just lose 10 HP basically. So it's all just very basic. But again, don't forget, we did this using just a single prompt. So I think that's already pretty good. So if we look here in the game config, we can probably somewhere um, set the win time. I'm actually not sure where that was. This is the player config. We have the spawn rate. We have max enemies. We have the size, the damage. So this is the enemy stuff, the movement speed, spawn distance, all that stuff. Let's see in the entities. There's the enemy entity, the player entity, and so on. And probably in the scenes, we have the boot scene. So this is the scene that comes when we start the game, or should come. It's not perfectly working yet. We have a game scene here. We have a preload scene. So this all looks pretty cool so far. And we have the basic weapon, which is just called basic weapon for now. Like, we are in the very, very beginning of this. And I think we just gradually go through um, and see what we can build today. So I'm gonna launch Claude. I hope it's up to date. I think it is. And then we just run agents and check what we have. We actually haven't even created any agents so far. So we are going to do that in this video. The question is what kind of agents we are going to need. We definitely need a Phaser.js expert, and later on we need like a, I don't know, pixel art artist and this kind of stuff, and some tile map specialist. For now, I want to create a new agent inside of the project, and then we generate a with Claude Code, and then we want to say this is, or you are an expert phaser.js uh, developer who is specialized in 2D game development. It's a little bit cut off here, but don't worry about that. Let's see phaser.js. I think it's phaser.js version 3 is the latest one. So this is the tech uh, that we are using. So it's very like it's a very extensive um, it's a very extensive technology that you can use for games. I do not have any in-depth experience with it. I just have basic experience, but basically this enables us to use JavaScript, which Claude is very familiar with. But I went into this in detail in the first video, so if you're interested in that, you just have to rewatch that. You are specialized in Phaser 3 and above. Okay, so let's put that in. And that should create a agent for us. I don't know what else do we need, guys. We need a game director, probably. Like, I don't want to go overboard with the agents yet. I think we just create this one, and then we see what else we need. So this is Phaser. It's kind of purplish, so we make it purple. Here's the outline of the agent, and we just say yes. And then there's our Phaser game dev agent. Okay, so what next? As we go step by step, we probably want to have a start screen and a pause screen because as of now, when we reload, there is no real start screen and the game just starts right away. So that would be the first thing I want to do. So let's say implement a start screen that allows us to start the game, I guess. What else should I write there? That's what we need. And it should go create the start scene. And I was wondering, okay, we have a preload scene and we have a game over scene and we have a game scene. So we don't even have a start scene yet. And as you can see, it's invoking the Phaser game dev here because that's what we told it to do basically. It knows that we are working with Phaser, do it to our Claude MD file, and that means it's invoking the Phaser agent, which is correct. Let's quickly run that and see what it comes up with. Okay, it's asking us if we are or if Claude is allowed to make changes, and we definitely let it do whatever it wants. And seems like it did some changes already. Let's see if we reload if that if that start screen is already showing. But it's also updating the preload scene, I think. I think there was some kind of scene, or there should have been some kind of scene, but it just didn't show up yet. There we go. Okay. It looks great already with the font and everything. A vampire survivors inspired game. Survive for 60 seconds. The controls are there. There's an indicator of what the player is, what the enemies are looking like, what the projectiles looking like. It's cool that it did that, like just with this basic one sentence prompt. It's really awesome. I like it. Okay, let's see. It's testing the start screen functionality. I think that looks pretty good to me. So let's start again. Okay, that looks good. And as you can see, it's not very accurate with the hitboxes because we have a bunch of creeps on us and we just lose HP very slowly. So this is the next thing we should do. Okay, if we hit space now, we land back in the start screen, which for me is okay for now. So we have a little pause in there. Later on, of course, we say, okay, if you press R or whatever, you can restart the game from there. Okay, we have that set up, so I'm gonna clear our conversation because we don't need this previous context. This is always very important. If you don't need the context of your previous conversation in the next task that you're planning to do, because that saves you a lot of tokens. So I'm just gonna clear that because now we are working on something that is not related to the start screen. And what are we working on next? I would say let's say the enemies are currently not colliding with each other, but they definitely should. Okay, let's hit it and wait what it comes up with. By the way, guys, I'm not sure how we should approach this because some of these prompts they take very long for completion, and I'm not sure if you're interested in seeing the output, then I can just fast forward the video and keep it running. For now, I'm just pausing the video and then I continue once it's done and explain to you what it did. Let me know in the comments below what's your preferred way. I have no experience with that kind of video yet. So just let me know what you guys think. But it seems like it's getting that done rather quickly. It looks like it's almost finished. Kind of added like a collision system, so it's checking the enemy collisions, why ever that has enemy in it. Um, and let's see how scalable that is. Okay, let's see. Let's see if they are colliding. Oh yeah, kind of looked like they were colliding. Yeah, yep, they're colliding. Look at it. Now they're clustering. Yeah, that's cool. And I'm not sure how to handle it because in Vampire Survivors, I think they can. No, actually, we can run right through them, and we can run through them here too. So that's cool. Wow, it actually looks pretty awesome how they cluster up and everything. Okay, cool. Right, we got that sorted out. Let's clear the context one more time. And what we are going to do next. I'm not thinking about textures and stuff like this yet. I'm just trying to figure out a very basic game loop and getting ready the very fundamental game mechanics. Like, what else do we need? We need a way to pause the game. Um, just a question. Do we do it on spacebar or on escape? Let's do it on space for now because so far we restarting the game with space, we starting the game with space. Uh, add an option to pause the game when the player presses the spacebar. Okay. And I hope you can read it well too. I think it should be large enough. If not, let me know in the comments and I will make it better for you guys next time in the next video. We learn as we go. So far, I think it looks pretty big enough to for you to be able to read it. All right. So it's creating a paused state. Basically, in the game scene, we have a toggle pause. And I'm not sure how well that translates later with whatever. That's too far thinking ahead. I really want to go step by step. So it's definitely also adding a pause screen because that's what we need, maybe a very simple one. And now it's testing the pause functionality. I have no idea how it's even testing it. And we need, oh, it wants to open it in the browser. Yeah, but I can do that myself, right? Kind of has a different port now. Not sure what that's about. Ah, weird, because we are on port 3001 and the dev server is still running. Whatever, let's check it out. Okay, we are in the game and we can pause the game. That's exactly what we wanted. And okay, now we are in the pause menu, and now we should also be able to go back to the main menu or restart the round, I would say. And for that, I keep the current context and I say also add an option to go back to the main menu from the pause screen and allow the user to restart the current round as well. Consult the phaser specialist for that. I'm telling you, it's really hard to think straight when it's that hot. It's like 33 degrees Celsius in here. So sometimes recording videos, but I do it anyway. Who cares? Just probably takes me a bit longer to figure stuff out. Okay, it's consulting the agent. Shouldn't take it too long. We can play the game in the meanwhile. I think one of the first things we need is some cool game music. All right, so it's updating the game scene. Okay, I'm already thinking about what we are going to do next. If this works, I think a very important part of the game is because we know the game works. So if we survive for 60 seconds, we win the round. If we die, we are dead. And I'm not sure if we should work first on the experience system or on the health system because we are not like losing health as in a health bar where it goes down. We're losing like a 10 by 10 points and not very consistently. So even several creeps are hitting us. We're just losing 10 HP, 10 HP. It seems like it's more like a counter than a real health bar system. Um, but let's see. We're already done, basically. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, perfect. Restart. That works. Main menu works. Cool. And it also directly redesigned the pause menu, which is cool. It seems like it's doing something more. Let me create a to-do list to check the implementation of these enhancements. Well, it seems like it's checking what the agent has been doing. That's interesting. I haven't seen that before. I'm wondering why it's doing that. Must be a new update or something from Claude. But it says it's implementing an enhanced pause menu by replacing the simple pause system with a comprehensive menu, but we already have the comprehensive menu. So that's a bit weird to me that it's doing that right now. I'm wondering if it's like redesigning it or something. Ah, okay. It just got it now that it's already been implemented. It seems like it didn't get the message from the agent that it or that the agent already implemented the changes, but it figured it out on its own when it's probably compared the previous state of the pause menu with the current state. So better than doing it again and messing up the code, I would say. So that's cool. Okay, cool. So we have that. What do you guys think we should do next? I think the to fix the health system is not that easy. And it seems like they're like disappearing. I'm not sure if it's because I'm shooting on them All right, now we dead. Good. Um, let's make some quicker progress than or reworking the health system right now. So we need a way to collect experience, that's for sure. And we need to also think about um, that other creeps or like later creeps that are higher level give more experience. But I think for now we just going to implement a basic experience system and tell it that to make it scalable for later. So to do that, I'm going to clear the context once more because we don't need it anymore. And then I'm going to switch to plan mode by hitting Shift and Tab. And you can see that plan mode is like popping up here. And for those more like, well, let's put it this way. If you are patient enough, you should probably use plan mode for everything you do. I feel like it gives us better results and it also lets us reread what we actually want before it's starting the implementation. Because if you just write a prompt, I want to create an experience system where the creeps are dropping orbs that gives the player experience. It will right away go ahead and implement that system. If you use the plan mode, which you will see in a second, and that is not only for game development, that is for web development, app development, whatever you can, everything you can think of. I think plan mode is the better option because you tell it what to do, it comes up with a plan, you can reread the plan, and if you like the plan, you can execute the plan. And if you don't like the plan, you can say, no, let's continue working on the plan, tell it what to do different until you're satisfied with the plan, and then it's implementing the plan. This also gives you some thought about like what you might have forgotten. It gives you some time to reevaluate if that's really what you wanted, or if Claude understood the instructions well enough. I think you get the idea. So let's implement an experience system next. And let's implement an experience system next that is scalable for the future. Um, think about the same way Vampire Survivors work, like bosses and harder monsters give more experience, and as the player grows stronger, he needs more experience to level up each level. What else do we need? Did we say, yeah, we need to have it scalable. Mm, just make sure it's scalable for a larger game later on. I just thought about something else now, but I forgot. Uh, let's throw it in and see what it comes up with first. And then we can maybe readjust that. It's going through the app right now, even we have already a comprehensive Claude MD file, but nevertheless, it's just making sure if we are still, or if it's still on the latest version. So it compares the Claude MD file with the latest changes because we did some changes. And to make this better, we should actually have created a branch for everything and update the Claude MD file after every command, but I think this will take the video or extend the video to a degree that I don't want. So we try to go with that now as we do it. Okay, so here's Claude's plan, experience system implementation. So we have core concepts, define XP curve, formula, exponential growth, base XP plus level, scaling factor, configure level up rewards, health, damage, speed bonuses. Yeah, cool. That's what we would need to implement later anyway, because as you guys know, in Vampire Survivors, you have different weapons and you get to update the weapons after each level up. This is actually a crucial part of the game loop there. So I'm not sure if we should implement that right now with the damage and speed, health. Maybe we can do that because once we introduce more weapons and weapon upgrades, then the game gets way more complex. So we can actually leave that for now because like this, it just needs to increase the values of health, damage, speed, and movement speed, which should be pretty simple and shouldn't throw us off too much from our plan to later on implement those new weapon systems. Set the enemy XP values to type, basic, elite, the boss categories. Okay, so this is a very extensive plan here, which we have to read through. So I will quickly fly over it and point out if we need to change something, and if not, we are going to go ahead and let it implement the changes. Okay, so it actually thought about everything very detailed and very deeply, and it seems like it has everything in check. So it's going to really implement, even it's going to implement an experience manager class to handle that later. And it's creating a whole experience configuration system, update enemy systems with the XP values and stuff like this. So it seems to have everything that we need. So I'm going to go ahead. And now when I'm satisfied with the plan, I'm going to say yes and auto accept edits. And this is probably going to take a while because it needs to do quite some changes here. So we're going to let that work and check back once it's done. And let's go. Okay, we have an XP bar. All right, I see the first issue already. So we get experience. Oh, wow, cool. Well, we didn't tell it to drop orbs for experience, how it is in Vampire Survivors. So it probably didn't know that. So we're now currently getting experience as we kill monsters. And as you can see, since we hit level 2, it already goes much slower. So the scaling seems to work. And we need more experience. And the mobs, those monsters are all giving the same experience. But that means we have a basic system already. And now we just want to have it in a way that how it's like on Vampire Survivors, that the enemies, instead of giving us direct experience, um, that they drop those orbs that we then need to collect. This is an important property of a Vampire Survivor style game, so we are going to work on that next. Hey, we won! 119 enemies killed. So I like the kill counter because you can actually make a challenge there. How many can you kill in 1 minute? So that's already a cool fun factor. And now, since we went ahead and implemented a entirely new experience system, we should now also go ahead and use this context and tell it to update our Claude MD file because this information isn't there yet and it's quite extensive. And I want it to have this context to describe the changes that we did in the Claude MD file. So I'm just going ahead and I'm going to tell it first, update the Claude MD file with the latest edition of the experience system we just implemented. And I know there is this hashtag command to memorize stuff, but I haven't fully figured out how that works yet. So I'm just going to do it how I always did it and let it update our Claude MD file. Shouldn't take too long, but anyway, I'm gonna quickly pause here and then we'll back when it's done. So that's done. And now, before I continue, instead of clearing the conversation, because we still somehow need the context of the experience system that we have just implemented, although we have it in the Claude MD file. But anyway, just for demonstration purposes, I will go ahead and do a compact, which basically compacts the current conversation. So we save some tokens again and make our further interaction with Claude faster. It should make it faster. So it's compacting the conversation now, which is basically giving a condensed summary of what we just did to keep that inside of our current context window. Um, I think that's useful in that case. Yeah. Okay. And while it's doing that, we can already go ahead and type our next prompt, which will be the experience system you implemented. Already works really great, but we want the exact same mechanics as in Vampire Survivors, which means the enemies drop XP orbs. I think they are orbs. Um, that get kind of sucked into the player once he gets in range of them, very close to begin with, to be sucked in. I don't know how I should, how else I should write it. That's like how I know how it's working. Um, how do we do that? We go to plan mode, that's for sure. So I switch over with Shift Tab again. Um, Also implement this scalable for the future in case we implement something that allows the player to increase his pick up or suck up. I don't know what else to write. Or suck up radius of these orbs, same as in Vampire Survivor. Yeah. All right. Let's let's see if it understands what we want. Okay, so he's analyzing it, which should be rather quick because he still has the context, as well as the Claude MD file. But it's looking at the files again, regardless, because obviously he needs the code, and in the Claude MD file is just a summary of the file structure, which means it's directly finding the correct files and opens them up because it knows the structure. Otherwise, it would have to search first for those files, and it would take much longer if it wouldn't have that already in the Claude MD file or in the context. So it's already analyzed it and understands how to implement that, like in Vampire Survivors. It seems like it understood our request, and now it came up with a again very extensive plan. Um, And it even wrote how many XP the orbs give. Okay, I don't even want to read it now. I just flew over it and it seems correct. Scalable pickup radius, visual feedback, performance optimized, efficient. Yeah, sounds all good. Okay, so let's implement that and check how it looks. All right, we're looking good here, guys. It even automatically went ahead and completely by itself, without telling it, is updating the Claude MD file with the new XP orb system. Um, so it seems like it did everything we wanted it to do, which is great. It implemented a new orb manager. I'm sure we're getting a summary in a second. So it's adding it to Claude MD, experience system with orb collection. All right. I'm really wondering if that's going to work, um, because this also shows me how much progress Claude, how they made in developing it further. Because like even 2 months ago, this was definitely not working as well as it's working today. So that also speaks for how fast they are progressing and improving Claude, which is great. Okay, so it should be done. I just want to make sure to restart that. Okay, there we go. Cool. Let's run it. All right. There's an orb, and it's getting sucked in. Another one shot. And they even look cool. And they're floating behind us. That's exactly how it's in Vampire Survivors. It's literally exactly how it is. They're a little bit flickering, but I actually like it. And they keep following us until we stop and they get sucked into us. Wow. Okay. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I just know how long it would take me to create something like this without the use of AI. I mean, I created games before, like simple games using Phaser, using Godot and stuff like this. But to get to this point in that short period of time is absolutely insane. This is really, really crazy. Wow. Okay. I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with how far we came. I don't know how long this video is going to be, probably half an hour, 45 minutes or something like this, um, excluding the waiting time where I paused the video. So that's liberally say an hour. And we went from a basic game that basically had no real game loop, just like a basic game that you could still win, but no pause menu, no start menu, no option to pause the game, no experience system. We went to this, and I think that's good enough for this video because we still want to have something to do, right? I mean, this is something if you implement sound and maybe more waves, you could already like greenlight it maybe on Steam. I don't know, but it's definitely already fun. Of course, the sound effects are missing, obviously, and the character models, but it's already a game. It's a playable game, and I know that if I would show it to my son, for example, he would enjoy it. It's playable. You can win something. It's cool. Okay. Well, I think I'm satisfied with that. I'm definitely satisfied how far we came. And yeah, I think we're wrapping it up here and continue in the next one where we will work on the health system and probably let's see how far we get. I think the health system is going to be quite a little bit more complicated. And I think the next step after that is to implement the weapons that we can at least like one weapon, and maybe we can add something like improve the movement speed and stuff like this. So we just add on to the game experience. And I think I will really like keep the design and the character models and stuff like this and the tile maps till the end. Um, because I'm thinking this is going to be difficult to do with AI. I had problems doing this in Godot, and but we will see. Maybe it can generate some tile maps procedurally or something like this in Phaser in JavaScript, but I'm not really sure. So we will continue to work on the game mechanics that we still have this cube thing as our hero, but it will have different weapons. We will definitely have sound very soon. That's actually also one thing for the next video. I will write a little task list before we going to start the next video. This was just like completely spontaneous that I decided to record now. Next video I will be more prepared and we will try to work through a set of tasks and continue to progress in our game. Yep. I think that's it for now. If you enjoyed this video, the last video was viewed over 1,000 times by now, I think. So I guess you guys enjoyed it. It got a lot of thumbs up. Um, the best way to show me that you like it is by subscribing to the channel, by clicking the thumbs up button for the algorithm, and that shows me that you are interested in this kind of videos, and I will continue to do them. I will also throw in another refactor video very soon, and I have already 2 or 3 more app ideas that we can build out together on this channel. So if you're interested in that, check it out, and also check out easyearningstracker.com if you want to track your creator income. Don't forget. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.